Alright guys, welcome back to a how to repair video. Here I have a 78 Ford F100. It's an XLT Ranger. It has the 351 Windsor automatic, 4-speed automatic. It has the 90 model F-150 transmission in it. But besides that, today's video is going to be about replacing the high pressure power steering hose, which is located right here. As you can tell, somebody's been in here already. The whole nut right here stripped. I hope I can get that off. There's an O-ring inside here, and if you follow the hose, it goes down here all the way to the power steering gearbox, and right there is the leak. You can see it's all over the place. It's not necessary what you say the hose, more likely it's just the O-rings, but since this is all butchered up and the hose is wiggling because it's really truly, if I'm not mistaken, that's not supposed to move like that after the hose is tightened down, but it still does. Anyways, so already got a new hose, bought it from AutoZone. Okay, so here is the power steering hose. It comes in a whole kit, brand new hose and everything, new O-rings. Here's one of the O-rings, very tiny. Whole kit, basically the instructions. We don't read instructions around here, but basically what it says inside, it just shows you the different sizes and things like that for it. How to put the O-ring on the lip of the hose line. Basically this was over this to protect it, and shipping and everything like that. Part number is 91956. I paid about 20 bucks for this hose for the truck. So the tools you're going to need to do this are tools you're going to need. So I would recommend wearing safety glasses because the stuff is really not good for your eyes. You're going to need crow's foot. Line wrenches would work as well. I would prefer one of those two, but I've used these tons of times, never had problems out of them. Really good for this stuff because when you use regular wrenches, you end up gouging and messing up the threads on top of the hose, like this person's already done, whoever's been in here before. More likely the original owner. You're going to need a turkey baster because we're going to have to suck out all the fluid inside the reservoir. More's going to come out when I unloosen that hose, and probably more is going to come out of there when I unloosen it from the gearbox. The sizes are 16, get the camera to focus there, 16 millimeter and a 13 millimeter. You can see that. You're going to need a ratchet, just 3/8, and a 3/8 ratchet extension to go with it all. I am going to use some Purple Power and a paper towel. I'm going to clean some of this up a little bit after we get done, because once we do all this, I want to make sure there's no more leaks. Hose is good and on there. We go ahead and get the tools out, get everything ready, and set the camera up and start taking this stuff apart. So get your turkey baster and something to put the whole fluid in. If the fluid's not dirty, really not that bad, I would consider reusing it. But on Fords you can use Mercron, Dextron, ATF, automatic transmission fluid. Purposely, I'm going to be using regular brand SuperTech automatic transmission fluid. Never had a problem out of it. I mean, every Ford I've ever owned, the power steering pump always whines. So really and truly, there's nothing you can really do about it except for getting maybe a Pacific fluid for the problem of it whining, which will help. But and suck it all out. Yeah, that's really dirty. That's nasty. like I said, you want to make sure you get all the fluid out as much as you can, because you don't want to have this stuff all over the place. This stuff is highly flammable. There was a customer that I had previously done a while back that did not listen to me when I told them that she needed to get her steering rack replaced immediately, that she shouldn't be driving it around unless she was driving it from her house or whatever to get it fixed. I could not do it because I don't have a lift here where I do this stuff at. So, she took it to a shop, and long story short, she's supposed to have it fixed within like a week or so, something like that. She's supposed to went back. Well, one day she got out of the car, went to a store, come back out, and her car was in flames. I have pictures of it. It was a 1999 or a 2000, something like that, Buick LeSabre or something like that. Buick Century, they really all look the same in those years. Buick Century, Buick LeSabre, Buick Oldsmobile, I mean, they're kind of like the same engine. It was a 3.8 V6, non-supercharged. I put a new pump on it, I put a new hose on it, and it was still leaking fluid. What happened was, on that type of car, on those cars personally, the steering rack goes right underneath the exhaust, and it was squirting up. Evidently got on the exhaust, got it hot enough, caught the whole damn car on fire. Sorry for my language there. And she blamed me for it, but it wasn't my fault. I told her to get it fixed. She took it to somebody else. They touched it last. It wasn't me. So, I really hate that happened, but like I said, when you don't listen and you've told that you should get something fixed, that you shouldn't drive it, then you shouldn't be driving it. She had another car. She didn't drive the other car. She is now, because she don't have that car no more. It burnt the whole engine. They said it was an electrical fire, which it could have been. I had nothing to do with electrical. All I did was put a pump on it, fluid, and a hose. And it needed a steering rack. Okay, make sure you put a catch pan underneath, because when I loosen this hose, more fluid's going to come out. We're going to clean that up a little bit later with some Purple Power and brake clean. Hopefully this hose comes off and it don't bust off. Looks like to me it's stripping. Okay, we're gonna fix that. Okay, there she goes. I just broke, almost broke the whole freaking hose off in there. That would have not been good. I would have been one peed person. And very little threads that's left on this anyways. Here it comes. And then there's all the mess. Okay, very hard to film, guys, but I did break the line off over here. As you can see, if you look down there, you can see the power steering hose all around that, where I'm showing you, all down there and all on the ground. It's really not good because I have the exhaust manifold right there. So if this were to start spraying out, I'd get on that, and then that would be it for the truck. So let's go ahead and get this old hose out of here. Don't need this no more. Make sure you don't make a mess. Make sure you don't get it on any other hoses. Alright, so Now that you got it off of the truck, get your new hose, set it beside each other. Make sure that everything fits, or looks the same length, the same size, the same size in the nuts and bolts on the end of each other. Make sure everything lines up. Yeah, I am going to have to bend this a little bit the other way. It's just going to have to be bent exactly that way. Once it sits in there a couple times, it gets hot and cold, it'll form itself to in that position and stay that way. I did put some Teflon tape on the end. I would recommend doing that, just precaution on this side, because it does not come with an O-ring. This side only does, and I need to get the O-ring right now to put on there. See right there, that little lip right there is where the O-ring goes. Make sure when you take the old hose off that it did have the O-ring on it when you took it off, which this one does. It's right there. Because if it's inside the pump and you double putting a double O-ring it inside that pump or shaft, it will cause a leak, and you'll have to take everything back apart to figure out what happened. So make sure you get that off. Okay, one last thing before I set the camera down where it needs to be is make sure that you clean out the threads and holes where the power steering hose goes in on each end. Like I'm saying, inside here where the threads are, inside the pump shaft, make sure all the threads and everything is clean, because that's where the O-ring goes on that one. And make sure as well that the threads and stuff are clean inside the power steering gearbox. So, let's go ahead and put that new hose on and finish this video up. Okay, so my camera is dying. I'm trying to do the best I can, guys. It's really not that hard, easy. Trying to do everything at one time. I did manage bending the hose and put it in here. It's not, I barely even got it in there. Make sure you do it by hand, twist it by hand, thread it inside. Don't just take the ratchet and start, doing it like that. That's how you strip things. And now my flashlight's dying. Good and tight, it's solid. Yes, it does move. Really and truly, I believe it's supposed to do that anyways. It's a flexible, so it doesn't kick itself up. So let's go ahead and go to the top one up here, and we'll tighten that one. Alright guys, so pretty much everything is tightened down. I know I didn't show you that. It's really kind of hard too. I don't have anything to set the camera up in here. I am doing this from my phone, just so you know. The hose is tightened down. There's no more leaks here so far. Go ahead and top it off with the fluid. Fill it back up to where it's supposed to be. Turn the wheel all the way to the left, and then back all the way to the right, back to the left, back to the right, a few more times. Make sure you get all the air out of it. I'm using, like I said, automatic transmission fluid. Best thing I can tell you is to go in your owner's manual and look it up that way. If you don't have one, I would try the internet. That's about the best thing I can tell you. But pretty much Fords use either Dextron, Mercron, ATF, just automatic transmission fluid. Everything's back together, everything's on. Drive the truck, come back, check it again, make sure it's full. If it is, then you're done. If you have any questions or comments about this video, please leave it in the bottom. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And if you hadn't already, hit that subscribe button. What are you waiting for? I make how-to videos just about every other week. Once a week, twice a week, whenever I can. Thanks for watching. Have a great day or night, wherever you are. Stay tuned for more on this channel. Thanks.